Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to each and every one of you. Welcome to D.I.V.E, Diversity, including various ethnicities. I am Iris Owens, your host, and on the line with me is my wonderful host. Good morning, Jessica. How are you today?
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So I hope everyone had a wonderful first. Let's just say I hope all moms to be moms, praying to be moms, feeling moms, whatever role you play as mom, we hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day and that you enjoyed the
Yes.
day. So also we are going to focus. May is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and we thought that we would spend some time talking about that because that is something that is vitally important to the health of all of us, of anyone who's walking,
Yes.
talking, and breathing. And with all that's going on in our world today, mental health is very, very important. So
Absolutely.
we're just going to talk about work-life balance, something we're hearing a lot of, and what does that look like for individuals? And your work-life balance may look different than my work-life balance, but certainly, I think the goal is that we all find balance. So, Jessica, you and I were just having a conversation before we get jumped on about this
Yes.
whole work-life balance, and you said I need a life coach, and I said, and I am a life coach, and I still need a life coach. So,
Right. It's like doctors need a doctor,
right,
therapists need a therapist. Just
correct,
because this is something that you do doesn't mean that you don't need help from
exactly,
another professional. And I think
exactly.
sometimes we get caught up like that,
Mm-hmm.
um, thinking that we got it, and in actuality, we don't. And
Yes,
it's okay to ask for help. Um,
absolutely.
I I hold this topic near and dear to my heart because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. You got to think you're trying to be the best wife, the best mom, the best sister, best daughter, the best
Mm-hmm.
friend, the best
Mm-hmm.
employee.
Mm-hmm.
And
Correct.
wear all these hats.
Yes.
And it's overwhelming sometimes. And
Right.
sometimes we need help.
Yes.
We need help.
Yes.
And so I think today's topic is going to hit home for a lot of people because we're going to be able to give uh, just small nuggets of advice and things that they could possibly do.
Absolutely.
Um, but I want to first start off with explaining that uh, from doing a little bit of research,
Mm-hmm.
we want to sound like we did our due diligence.
Yes, we did
So
our
with
due
a little bit of
diligence.
research, we were able to find out that of the adults employed full time in the United States, nearly 40%
Yes.
reported working at least 50 hours
Yes.
per week, and
Correct.
18% reported working 60 hours or more a
That's
week.
correct.
I'm in that 18%. You
Yes.
know, I do, I
Yes.
do, I do real estate full time. I have
Yes.
a full time job. I
Mm-hmm.
have, three kids. So when you factor in the amount of hours that you are putting toward a specific thing,
Yes.
I think more than 18% is working over 60 hours
I
or more a week.
I totally agree with you. And here's the thing, when we're talking about mental health, and someone may say, what does that actually mean? Your mental health is the
Hmm.
status of which your emotions, your mindset is in, right? Your mental health. Mental health is not what
Right.
someone can see, but we do know when your mental health may be off balance, may be in need
Right.
of attention. It shows itself in so many ways. So, i.e.,
Hmm.
anxiety. Anxiety is a result of you being overly stressed or stretched to trying to manage, let's just say, so many things at one time
Hmm.
that then you begin to
Right.
get, it's not just nervous, it's not just scared, it's a feeling that could bring you to incapacitation where you feel like you just can't do anything. Like you've planned to do all these things,
Hmm.
but then you become stuck.
Mhm.
and you're just kind of
Mm.
running around or moving around in a circle, and you feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmness is
Right.
a mental health, or a stress factor. Doing too many things at one time, because we do believe as human beings, we do believe that we're multitaskers. But technically,
Right.
medically, the brain can only
Mhm.
function on one thing at one time. We believe that we're multitaskers, but we really are not. That is not how the brain actually functions. Hence the reason why, if you're driving
Mm.
and you're trying to talk on your phone, or you're driving and you're just digging in the back of your car to try to grab something, there's a great likelihood that you're going to swerve your car. Why? Because your eyes are off the road. Your eyes are off the thing that you are supposed to be focusing on. You're distracted. Anxiety will bring about distraction,
Right.
which also sometimes brings about instability where you can't do anything. So you're not completing projects, you're not finishing things, you're not your best, you're not delivering how you would typically do. So anxiety can bring about that feeling. It's also one of the things that I always say with mental health. We make sure that we go to have a physical exam every year. Women, we have an
Right.
annual pap smear, we have a mammogram. Men should go and have, their physical, their prostate and colon check. We get our eyes
Right.
checked. But do you
Mhm.
realize there is no annual go get your mental health check, which I really believe it is something that is truly, truly needed, especially in
It is.
all the things that we are now processing in this place we call our world. There's a lot of
I absolutely
stressors.
agree.
There are a lot of stresses, and yet we don't know what to do with some of it. Watching TV at night and watching the news is a complete stressor. And I know people say, I just want to know what's going on. But think about the things that are coming to your mind right before you're about to
Mm.
supposedly lay down to
Go to sleep.
rest.
Right.
Now it's playing over and over in your psyche.
Mhm.
So things like that, we have to monitor and figure out, how do we take that moment or those moments in our life
Mhm.
to balance. So if you're working 50, 60, even if you're working 40
Mhm.
hours a week, your work doesn't stop
Mhm.
when you leave the quote unquote job, right?
Yeah.
So how do we balance that? What do we do with that? Because as you just mentioned, we have families. Some people have parents that you may be now a caretaker for
Caretakers.
children or for
Mhm.
parents, right? You have uh you have other responsibilities. You may be taking on the role of getting another degree in your life. Again, something you want to do, but it does and can create stress in one's life.
Right.
So how do we balance all these things out? Where would one start with considering how you balance this out? What do you
Well, I
think,
mean,
Jessica, would be a good idea?
I personally believe, like, when it comes down to work-life balance,
Mm-hmm.
there is no cookie cutter, remedy.
Correct.
You know, everyone's situation, circumstances is going to be different. So
Right.
therefore, you're going to need a specific prescription just for you, just for
Absolutely.
what you need. Your prescription may not match mine.
Right.
So, but we need to be transparent with ourselves and knowing what it is that we actually need.
Right.
For someone, just taking a couple hours out of the week to just breathe, to just have me time,
Yes.
self-care Sunday, whatever it may
Yes.
look like for
For
you,
you.
that
Correct.
may be all you need.
Yes.
Whereas someone like myself, I speak with a therapist. I do have someone that I can sometimes voice voice my
Right.
opinions to and voice my concerns to, and someone that can help me kind of sort out, any type of anxiety that I might be dealing with, or
Correct.
any type of overwhelming feeling that I may be dealing with at that time. So it looks different for each individual, but
Mhm.
you should be doing something.
Yes.
Not doing anything is just going to further result in more issues. What we have seen in research, and what you probably have already seen, personally, ignoring the overwhelming feelings, ignoring the anxiety, ignoring
Right.
all of these things, and working all these crazy hours and not getting adequate rest ends
Correct.
up taking a toll on your body.
Yes.
We start having medical and health issues.
Right.
You start having high blood pressure.
Yes.
Anxiety and stress can do that to you. You may start
Absolutely.
becoming someone that suffers from migraine. Stress can agitate those type of things. Now you may have ulcers. So now you're dealing with your GI factor. These things are all commonly related to stress and the things
Yes.
that stress brings on.
Yes.
Silent killers. That's what we call them, silent
Yes.
killers.
Correct.
Stress is a silent killer. So, no, this is not something we need to ignore. This is not something we need to sweep under the rug. This is something we need to combat head
Right.
on. And however it may look for you, you need to do something. Ladies, we want to be super women.
Yes. We want to put I just had a conversation on my other podcast about, as
Mhm,
women, we believe that we are shero. And so we put on our cape and we put on the shield. And sometimes we need to take off the shield, wash our cape, and let it dry and relax. Because when you are stressing, right, your
mhm,
stress turns out or it presents itself in many different ways. And a lot of times, stress, anxiety, lack of rest will bring about unhealthy behaviors, i.e., we may start to really eat badly. When I say badly,
mhm,
I mean we're just
mhm,
putting anything into our bodies, right? With like
mhm,
someone hungry,
mhm,
so I don't have time to sit down and have a real meal. So I'm just gonna eat these sweet things. I'm gonna eat cookies and I'm gonna eat potato chips and all this stuff, all this sugary stuff, right? So
mhm.
again, that's going to cause an imbalance in your health, in your body, and what you're doing. Um, Over
Right.
obsessing or over
Mhm,
no, taking up drinking, right?
mhm, mhm,
Drinking, smoking excessively,
mhm,
just doing things that you know are unhealthy for you, but you're trying to find a way to relieve
mhm,
the
mhm.
stress and the
Right.
anxiety that you're going through. And so this is not a judgment of, so if you
Not at
smoke, you
all.
smoke. I'm saying though, just think about it. If you go from maybe I smoked occasionally to now you're
Mhm,
smoking a whole pack a day because your
mhm,
life is so unbalanced and you're so stressed
mhm.
out and you're trying to find an outlet. So
Right.
look at how you may be able to replace some of those unhealthy behaviors with positive behaviors, i.e.,
Mhm,
let's say when you get up in the morning, meditate, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's
mhm,
reading a daily inspiration, reading the Bible, praying, just sitting, listening to calming music, whatever that may look like for you. And also meditating at night, taking the time out, turn the TV off. Don't go to sleep with the TV on. I know a lot of people say, I need that noise, but find some ocean sounds or other things to help relax you into sleep because
right.
insomnia is also a sign of anxiety and your mental health
Mhm,
not being at peace with one's body, mind,
mhm,
and soul, right? If you're
yes.
not able to sleep at night, because not sleeping also does not help your mental health in any way, shape, or form, because you're going to get up the next day. You went to sleep tired, you wake up tireder, if that's a word, or more tired. And
Right.
now your patience is on edge.
Short.
Right. It's short. Everything bothers you, people talking is
Mhm.
getting on your nerves, and so you're just not, and you're not able
You're
to
a
think.
walking time bomb.
You are, that is a good word,
You're
that's a
you
great
are a
statement,
walking
walking time bomb.
time bomb.
So
And this
meditation.
subject, like I told you, this subject hits home. I felt like
Yes.
that. You and it's a subject a lot of times we as women don't want to have this discussion.
Absolutely.
But I had to come to the realization that, listen, I'm not a superwoman. I'm not I'm not claiming to be. I mean, I understand others may think that your kids may think mama can do no
Yes.
wrong. Mama could she's always gonna make it happen. Your spouse or in the, significant other, they think, hey, I know she got it, but we are trying to keep up and maintain that image that we know in the back of our mind is breaking us down, both
Yes.
mentally and physically. And I
Yes.
feel like once I came to the realization, like, listen, I'm human. I am not a superwoman. I can only do but so much. I have the
Correct.
same 24 hours in a day as the next person. I have
Absolutely.
to itemize and prioritize what I can do in this amount of time,
Yes.
and what cannot get done in this amount of time will
Right.
have to wait until the next day or whenever time is available. It's not until that started to get into my head that I was able to breathe a little bit better. Like,
Right.
whew,
I think
it's
it's also
like,
important to do an inventory. Do a time inventory of the things that are taking up time in your life, taking up space in your mind and your mental health.
mhm,
Because sometimes there may be some things that we could really let go if we would be willing to let it go.
right, right,
You
right,
know, sometimes we can
exactly.
take some things off of our plates, but we do believe, again, that superwoman or hero is hero, whichever, right? Because we're talking to everyone. This is not just about women, this is about humankind,
No,
right? And so the bottom line is that sometimes we need to learn how to take some things off, let some things go to release the stress that's in our life
mhm,
or to balance our life so that it's more calm. Then now, of course, there are times that we're going
mhm,
to be stressed out because we're working on a big project. We're working with a client, you know, timelines, deadlines, all those things will create some stress, but not to the point where it's going to affect your mental health, where you cannot move, you cannot do or operate as
function.
who you are and function, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
something else besides,
Delegation,
I'm sorry? Oh, yes,
delegation.
delegation. A delegation, yes. And I was going to say before that, for self, exercise, but delegation is absolutely because, again, why? We cannot be all things to all people. And I want you all to hear this and hear this clearly. We also cannot have everything all at the same time. Or better yet, you can have everything, but you
There
just
you
can't
go.
all have it at the same time. Does that make sense?
Right,
So, again, balancing
absolutely.
and pacing oneself. Like if you're trying to, maybe you're saying, I'm going back to school, I'm getting another degree, I'm going to take on another job, I'm going to get my kids involved in
Mhm,
sports.
mhm.
You may have to say which of these things must be done right now, here and now, right? Then which of these things are in the middle where what's the biggest benefit of it or what's the least amount of benefit of it? And then
Right,
there may be that place where it says this doesn't need to be done at all. It may have to be on the low
right,
priorities, right? So yes,
right.
delegating and delegating yourself and your time as well to things. Prioritizing your time is so important. Exercise. And exercise can just simply
Mhm,
be
mhm.
walking out of your wherever you're working on a daily basis. Take 5 minutes to walk around the building, 5 minutes to do a walk outside, walk around the parking lot, whatever it is. Just take some time to go outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, and clear the mind. You'd
Fresh
be
air. Yeah,
surprised how much
yeah.
that energizes you and helps your mental health, helps your work-life balance.
Mm,
Prioritizing about time too. Something I always told my kids
absolutely.
when my kids were younger, if you have young kids at home, and even if it's not your kids, if you have kids, you have significant others, is when you get home, you should be able to say to your family, set this and do it for them as well. The first, let's just say the first 5 to 15 minutes that I walk in the house, I get through the door, let me go to my room or go to a space. Let me sit down let me take off my shoes, take off my coat, whatever, and just sit there or lay
That
on the bed.
sounds so nice.
And it's hard to do.
That sounds so nice.
But
It doesn't
if
happen
you put
for
it in,
me.
see, the way I look at it, if you put it in place for everybody in the family, then everybody then will start to practice. And that's even if you live alone. You should come in your home and take off your shoes, put down your bags, and sit wherever that place is and just
Decompress.
There you
Decompress
go.
before you do anything else.
There you go. That's
I
it.
love it. I love the idea of it. I'm
That's
gonna
it.
try to incorporate it.
Try it.
And I'll let you know how that works out.
Right.
I'm gonna let you know how that works.
So we just want
I
to
get
share.
bombarded at the door.
Yeah, right. And that's another thing. Sometimes there's some things we need to learn how to separate. I know, especially as realtors, our businesses, we consider it our life. We have to find that space where our life is our life and our business is our business. And there are times when we need to let them have time apart from one another.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? That's real important. So today we've shared some really nice nuggets with you all. So we first talked about to breathe. Remember to breathe. I think I say it to myself. Sometimes I feel like I am in such a run, in such a swirling, and I'm doing all these things that I literally think I forget to breathe. And I know some of you are probably saying, that's silly, Iris, because we breathe automatically. But we do sometimes sit with our breath. I know that I sit and I'm like this.
Holding your breath.
I'm doing something, but I'm holding my breath. Breathe. Breathing does so much for the mental health. If you just sit and take 2 minutes when you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed, close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, take some deep breaths, inhale, exhale. You will be surprised at how much better you feel when it's done. So remember to breathe, meditation, delegation, exercise, and decompress. So breathe, meditation, delegation, exercise, and wait, what did I give you the last one? Breathe, meditation, exercise. Oh, decompression.
Decompress.
Yes, decompress.
I'm taking my notes.
Yes. So, and take some time out. And just, I want you all to remember this. This is very, very important. Mental health is health, right? Mental health is our health. It's the health of our brain, our emotions, our internal clock, our internal mindset. And I always say, I talk out loud so I can hear myself think. And many of us walk around with all of our stuff inside of our head. And sometimes the inside voice gets very, very loud and it will cloud mindset. It will cloud judgment. It will cloud actions and it will change behavior. And so it's important to, if you need help, say you need help. There are hotlines for you to be able to call. If you are with Berkshire Hathaway, we have mental health resources for you to be able to utilize.
Absolutely.
Please take advantage of those. There is no shame in needing help. There's no shame in saying,
at all.
I feel off. I don't feel right. And pay attention to your body. When it's giving you those signals, pay attention. It's so important. And we ignore them because we're just like, I got to get to the next client. I got to get to the next thing.
I'm okay. Right.
I'm good. I can do this. We are not good until, when you wake up and find yourself in the hospital or you've collapsed in the car or you've passed out while driving.
Exactly.
Or your family says, you just had a heart attack. You've been in the hospital for a month. Come on, guys. It's really important for us to pay
Wow.
attention.
Yeah,
Pay attention. You know, it's really important.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe that this is a topic that we're gonna continue and possibly bring on some
Yes,
other medical
some
professionals
experts.
to also give
Absolutely.
their professional expertise. But to end today, I want our listeners to understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't help someone else if
Yes.
you need help. So
Yes.
therefore, let's make sure that we are good so that we can assist others. We can effectively do what we do on a day-to-day basis if
Yes.
we're not taking the essential care of ourselves, and that's
Yes.
mind, body, and soul.
Correct.
So we cannot pour from an empty cup, meaning you need to fill yourself up before you're pouring
Correct.
for someone else. So
Correct.
that's what I want to leave for our listeners today, and we want to continue this topic on again with some professional
Yes.
experts in this field, because I feel like this is just a topic that needs to be heard and it needs to be discussed and dived in a little deeper. So we're
Absolutely.
going to dive in a
Dive
little
in
bit
to
deeper and keep
mental
it
health
going.
awareness.
So
Absolutely.
exactly. So it's been a pleasure as
It's been a
always,
pleasure,
Iris.
as
It's
always.
always
Yes, Jessica. And listen, remember to woosah today. You got this.
absolutely, absolutely on
Inhale,
this good Monday.
exhale.
Amen.
That's right. It's Motivational Monday, and we hope that you all have a wonderful,
Yep.
wonderful week. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. And so stay tuned.
Mhm.
We really appreciate you guys. Have a great week.
Bye.